Welcome, everybody, to another live recording of the Business Travel 360 Linking the Travel Industry podcast, where we discuss travel industry news you're talking about on LinkedIn. My name is Rian, and I'm one of your hosts today. I'm a co-founder at Agentivity, where we do some very clever things with the booking data flowing through a TMC. So if you want to talk about data and efficiency, do come and talk to me. As usual, I'm joined by Ash and Anne to help me discuss our list of stories with you. Over to you, Anne.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Anne. I'm an independent consultant and happy to help you with anything related to NDC, airline retailing, one order, offer an order, etc. Over to you, Ash.
Thanks, Anne. Hi, everyone. My name is Ash, and I'm the host of a weekly business travel podcast called What's Up in Business Travel, where we give you only the important updates in under 15 minutes. Additionally, I'm the Vice President of Client Success at Traxo, and this is Linking the Travel Industry.
The format of this discussion is a quick, non-biased, and spontaneous review of the previous week's LinkedIn travel industry-related stories. The first story that stood out for me last week, which was week 46, we're going to start with the rumors that LOT Polish Airlines is nearing its completion of SmartWings, which is the largest airline in the Czech Republic. Interesting post there. I don't know whether I've seen any more and further supporting posts, but Ash, maybe you have?
Well, the only thing I have to say about the story, which to me is a good story, we don't hear of a lot too much in the trades. Poland has definitely had a good run from an economy perspective. I would expect that that's translated to success on the LOT side as well. So their purchase of SmartWings, I think, should not be too surprising, though they are acquiring an airline that is focused in a certain market segment. And again, as the article reminded us, that they did purchase Czech Airlines in the recent past. So all of that, I think, is good.
Yeah, as you say, it was a good article, and it's an old school journalism because he talks about the fact that it was spotted that the CEO of LOT was spotted in Prague, and there were rumors about what he was doing there. So old school type journalism, but yeah, well worth a read as well. Next one, which I guess was probably the news of the week last week because it became suddenly really quick, this news, and it had massive impact. But this is the news about the relationship between Marriott Hotels and Sonder. So that relationship came to an abrupt halt, and within 48 hours, they filed for bankruptcy. I saw quite a lot of posts on this, many pointing out to the over-reliance sometimes on a partnership. Be careful about those things. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, that sort of thing. But the thing that stood out for me was the way some of these travelers were, or the effect this termination of the relationship had on many travelers who just got notices to say they have to leave their longest stay, which was what Sonder was doing via Marriott sooner, and they were basically on the street looking for hotels. So, and that's the sad part, right? That's the horrific impact.
Yeah, that's pretty shocking. Well, I mean, we've heard of sort of charter tourism, haven't we, where people, they are completely stranded, etc. But this is somewhat unusual. There was some good point there in the article about the insurance. And I was just thinking about my own insurance and, you know, when you pay by card, kind of important, that stuff, isn't it? Probably quite damaging to the Marriott brand as well.
Do you think that, Ash? Do you think it's damaged the Marriott brand?
Because at the end of the day, when somebody books a Sonder property through Marriott, they expect Marriott to be the owner of everything, and that's all they see. So yes, I would agree with Anne's comment on that one. Mm-hmm. Just as a reminder, keep in mind that Marriott paid Sonder $15 million, and this is a licensing agreement. This was never about Marriott owning Sonder or telling Sonder how to run their operations, right? This is simply that, hey, we're going to pay you a fee. You're going to allow your property to come through a process, and then we'll engage in revenue share. Most of the impact, I believe, if you're a Marriott Bonvoy member, came because you use your points and miles. The part that really gets me is how this was a wheel and deal moment. I mean, Sonder sent out a letter to Marriott saying, hey, Marriott, if you don't fund us $50 million, we're going to shut down everything with the switch of a button. And so it was a little bit of I'm going to force you, and almost mob-like behavior. And then when Marriott said no, then they pushed back and said, okay, how about 28 million? And then Marriott says, no, how about 14 million? So this was a process that occurred where there was almost like, hey, if you pay us, and then Marriott said no. And then, of course, all hell broke loose. So a little bit of backstory there, really bad situation for Sonder. And I don't think we'll be saying their name after today.
Next story from Africa, the news. I saw this on a post by the Ethiopian Business Review. the news that Ethiopian Airlines becomes the latest airline to sign up for Saber's Mosaic platform. This fits in with Ethiopians' view about a digital transformation journey as part of their Vision 2035 growth strategy. And with this implementation, they are going to try and make use of dynamic pricing, AI-driven personalization, and real-time offer management. So interesting for me. I like following these news from the African carriers. And what do you make of this?
Well, very expected, because we expect the Sabre-hosted carriers to move to Mosaic, like we sort of are expecting the Altea carriers. When it comes to the Altea carriers, I would say those who are in the tier one, those carriers will move to Nevio, and we will see Sabre-hosted carriers move to Mosaic. So yeah, very, very expected. I do think it's going to be a long hike for them. Probably take a while to achieve what they want to achieve. I'm also very interested, like you say, in the...
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Imagine booking a flight, reserving a hotel, and filing your expense report, all during your favorite coffee break at your desk. That's what Italite makes possible, a modern, all-in-one platform for business travel and expenses. Why choose Italite? Because we combine smart technology with effortless workflows, helping companies save money while making travel simpler and faster for employees. Italite, the smarter way to travel for work. Discover more at italite.com.
market.
BCD and Conferma is partnering to launch a virtual card acceptance rating for hotels, with the aim that they can show travelers and travel managers which hotels are better at processing virtual cards. And maybe you've got something massively insightful to say about this.
No, I was going to sigh. I was just going to go, really? I've been working with virtual cards for 25 years. Rating, I'm sorry for being a bit of a question mark.
Fair comment. We all use virtual cards. The property can't process a virtual card. They can't process a real card. It means a card number. Is virtual card decline a big challenge? I've just spent the weekend with a whole group of agents. I actually asked them this question, and I got a very frowned look back from them. If anything, many of the virtual cards are issued for a specific purpose, and they actually work better because there's less potential fraud on them. I don't understand the story. Clearly, there must be a need if BCD Travel thinks this is worth doing.
I'll take a stab at this, Anne-Marie. And so what happens in the industry very often is that we base everything on what I call exception mentality, which is that something has happened once out of 100 times, and that becomes the most important thing. The fact that it happened 99 other times did not matter, but that one time was the issue, to the point where BCD and Conferma have decided in a partnership with each other that we need to solve this problem. We need to figure out why this is happening. And the scoring system, I think, is just let's just do something just to get people to buy into virtual card.
We have a comment there from Mark Lenahan. Thank you for commenting. He's saying that sometimes there's an issue that some of the virtual cards have a high commission attached to them. The article was quite clear. It's about acceptance. Let's turn to the audience and just say, we're not done. We've got a few more stories we want to do, but just to say thank you for giving us your time. We appreciate that. And we really appreciate your comments. Do tell us where you're listening from. A big thing for us here at Linking the Travel Industry is to do what we say in our name. We want to link more of us. So if you want to let us know which city and country you're listening from, we will put that on the screen, and ideally you can get a few more connection requests. So do that and tell us where you're listening from. We love hearing from you. So again, just to say thank you. So moving on, Virgin Atlantic, they're in the news twice. I might just cover both of the stories one after the other, but let's talk about the first one. It's about the fact that they have, I say with a big sigh, shaken up their loyalty program with an initiative called High Five. I kid you not, that's what they're calling it, High Five. Rob Burgess, he wrote about this. He goes on about the fact that he thinks they've been a little bit generous because they're also backdating this thing. The whole point of this initiative is that they want to obviously reward people who are loyal to the airline, but it's based on the years that you have been flying with them. And if you can continue flying with them for a period of, I believe, 5 years, then you go into the High Five Club. I think personally, this is just my opinion, I think the High Five brand and the Virgin Atlantic brand, they're very far apart. I'm not sure if that's a suitable name. Ash, what do you think?
I absolutely love this, Rian. I mean, it's just perfect. First of all, High Five. What a smart name. Much better than Sonder. I love this name. I think it's genius. People can remember it very easily, so that's great. The actual program itself is amazing too. I mean, they went out of their way to accommodate almost every scenario you can dream of. So you didn't fly 2 years in a row, no problem. You backtracking a few years, no problem. Like everything was no problem. And to that, I say high five. This is really, really a good move. And I absolutely, absolutely love it. Everything that a frequent flyer and a point person loves, they have encapsulated that in this one program. I flew Virgin Atlantic a couple years ago. I'm going to take advantage of this. I think this is great.
There we go. And what are your thoughts?
Oh gosh, not to crack up laughing. I'm not too keen on the name. It would sound a bit weird. I'm a Virgin High Five. Oh dear.
Ash, they've spent so much money on making it a premium, high quality brand. I don't know if you've been to the sort of, premium check-in area at Heathrow. It's all very high class. It's almost like it's white glove service. The clubhouses are amazing. And then they come up with High Five. It doesn't do it justice, in my opinion.
It's cool. It's fun.
I
It's
disagree.
better than
cool.
red carpet rollout or some generic gold premium.
I still think that they're being very accommodating, and I'm really wondering why.
It smacks a bit of desperation, and in my opinion.
Yeah,
but anyway,
it is.
Let's not be too cruel. I do like flying Virgin Atlantic. They are a great airline.
They really are a great airline.
But just think about this. They're catering to the person who doesn't fly very often.
Yeah, which is very clever.
And they're aligning themselves with that individual. And they're saying, hey, even though you don't fly that often, you can still be part of a program. You're not going to expire. So it's got everything. It's beautiful.
Now, we have another story about Virgin. I'm just going to find that first because let's keep talking about them. They've also gone ahead and done a free financing or financing deal with a suitable partner, and they've actually put up their Heathrow slots as collateral. And that's then shown us how much that is worth. And it's come to the tune of $745 million. And they're going to use this money to invest in a cabin refurbishment of the 787s, et cetera, and expand the upper class and premium cabins from 2028. Great, they can make use of that. I just found the story interesting in the sense that it reveals how much those slots are worth. And it wasn't like it was a backhand other type person commenting on this. It actually came from the CEO himself. So they're quite open about what they've done here. Our favorite brand of the year so far that we love mentioning is Revolut. And they have made another deal, this time with Scandinavian Airlines, to let Eurobonus members convert their REF points into Eurobonus points. So we love seeing this kind of thing, right, Anne?
We must be talking about Revolut more than we talk about Ryanair. It's quite extraordinary, their pace, isn't it? And how quickly they are moving, and they seem to do everything right. This is quite big news in this part of the world, in Scandinavia, because, there is a very firm relationship between Eurobonus, which of course is very powerful brand. There are a large number of Eurobonus members in Scandinavia, and they've always had a very close relationship with MasterCard and American Express. And it's very interesting to see this move. I wonder what this will bring.
Any comments, Ash?
Yeah, I like the fact that they didn't do it in a slow, gradual process. They just said, hey, you have access to everything. It's one-to-one. Let's make this go. A lot of choices if you are a Revolut customer. I love this.
As an extra story that I have, which relates to Revolut, and I'll talk about it now, I saw a post about the fact that you can now see Revolut booths, little booths. They remind me of those things where you throw the coin and you try and catch the thing inside. But it's a booth where you can get a replacement or a new Revolut card. And they've been placing them strategically around several European airports, just sort of quietly standing there in the corner where you can go pick up your card. And he was pointing out that it's a very clever move. Many card companies will charge you 20, 30, 40 euros to send you a new card. And so you typically need those kind of cards when you go traveling because it's for foreign exchange and all that sort of stuff. So having them at airports where it's self-service is very clever. Yes, I think 2026, this is going to be a brand to follow and see what they do in travel, right?
Also saw something very interesting from them. They have a virtual card process for your subscriptions. They had that as a service. I'm a Revolut customer myself. You can have a virtual card with an expiration just for that specific subscription. And I thought that was pretty clever as well.
Are you suggesting there are some subscribers who don't tell you about the renewal and then just charge your card? Oh, no. That would be terrible if that happens.
Yes, that happens. Yes, yeah. I thought this was very, very clever. Take control of subscriptions and having an extra virtual card at no cost. Very, very clever marketing.
And then the final story on my list of stories is the post of the week. The one that got the most engagements by far was from Avi Meyer from Perk. And he just did a post about his views on the work-life balance. He was pointing out, he was actually screen grabbing something from another job posting where they talk about they work minimum 6 days a week and most of the time it's 7 and all that sort of stuff. And he was just going, we have to stop this nonsense. He didn't call it nonsense. He called it something worse. And he just said that we need to get back to understanding that it's people who work for you and that there's a work-life balance. So shout out to Avi there for having the most engagement. Interesting post though, right, Ash?
Well, if you don't get much trade press from the transfer of your name from Travel Perk to Perk, then you might as well do something else and see if that doesn't generate some hits and interest for what you're doing. I agree with everything he wrote. I think the timing of it is a little bit off and suspicious, at least in my book. He could have written this any other day. He wrote it on the same week that his company name changed. I don't think it's a good look.
Do you see this post, Anne?
Yeah, the timing is a bit weird. I agree there with Ash.
Cool. That's stories on my list that I managed to already work in my own extra stories. So that's great. And you've got some extra stories?
The Amadeus company, Navitor, announced that they had a large customer conference the other week, and they've introduced the features of Stratus, which is their offer and order management system. The article, which was in Travolution, I believe, the features of Stratus were, sadly to say, quite unclear. I don't understand why it's so incredibly complicated to explain what you do. I was left with asking more questions about the system. But, it's very clear that Amadeus has, Nevio for the Amadeus Altea hosted customers, and for the Navitor hosted customers, there is now Stratus. And there was some very strange comment about some link between the two systems, but that's still very unclear to me.
Ashley, you got any extra stories?
Yeah, I got two quick ones. So here in the US market, Apple is launching something called Digital ID. It just got released a couple of days ago, where a US traveler can store a digital ID in their Apple wallet and use it at TSA checkpoints across 250 US airports. This is definitely a big one. This will eliminate the issue of, I forgot my ID, I forgot my wallet permanently. So that's a great solution. And so that's rolling out. You have to upgrade your phone to the latest version in order for that to work. And then the second story I'd like to share is that Lyft is now partnering with United Airlines. And this is not Lyft in Africa, Rian. This is Lyft in America, the ground transportation company spelled LYFT, expanding very rapidly in the European market as well, by the way. But now they're ending their partnership with Delta and forming a new partnership with United. This is going to be released in 2026. You can accumulate points on Hilton as well. Definitely a good partnership and a good move by both Lyft and United.
Yeah, that Apple ID thing sounds cool. I think I was watching the travel this week. I was traveling through Europe quite a lot. It must blow your American minds when you are transiting in Europe and there's no need for ID. I'm going Amsterdam, Frankfurt, on to Sofia, and nobody was going to bother you with ID because it's all Schengen. And you can see all the foreigners are whipping out their passports and IDs and ready to show it, and you don't need that.
Well, it blew my mind when I went to Italy and nobody checked anything. I was like, wow, this is pretty cool.
They trust you, Ash. They trust you. Okie dokie. So, that's a wrap for this week, Miguel. Thank you for joining us. You're listening in from Buenos Aires. Always nice to see you there. So thank you very much. Great that we made this on time. And thank you for accommodating us today on a Tuesday. So normally we do this every day on a Monday, as Ash will remind us. Over to you, Anne.
Thanks, everyone. And a special thanks for you guys joining us on a Tuesday instead. Anything to accommodate Rian's travels, right? Over to you, Ash.
Thank you, everyone, for joining today's live recording of Linking the Travel Industry. We normally record this podcast live every week on Monday. We ask that you share this event with others that you know. Chances are high that if you enjoyed today's session, those that you know will as well. If you ever miss a show because of time zone or availability, the podcast is available on businesstravel360.com. This is Linking the Travel Industry, signing off.